Hello, I'm Carlos Benitez, Senior Director at ACCA Beverly Hills. It is my pleasure to welcome you today, and I hope to see you in person to show you some of the artists on display at ACCA Beverly Hills. Today, I will have a conversation with Brayden, a Renaissance artist making commentaries on cultures and icons. Over a decade, he's exhibited his art on outdoor murals and gallery spaces across the country and beyond. He creates art inventing processes with paper, plastic, and wood and any other media he finds it fitting for his iconic visuals. I hope you enjoy the conversation between Brayden and me.
Yes.
Good morning, good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's been a while, last time I saw you was before you were getting ready to head up to Vegas to do that big mural.
Yeah, that's right.
So, we're starting this thing every morning, where we want to get in depth a little bit more of our relationship, with the artist and the art. Obviously, we know you like this Renaissance artist because you work with wood. Obviously, you're good at working with machinery. You work with surfaces that are reflected, like mirrors and plexiglass. But also, you kind of like recycling or breaking down papers, and then you embellish them into your work, which every piece tells a story, makes it very unique. And lately we've been seeing like this piece right here, a little bit of bling bling with jewelry. And obviously I feel like since we were in Hollywood with the murals, a lot of people make commentaries about, oh, does he always puts glasses on his work? I said, on some, not many, but can you please tell us a little bit about how people know you in the art community?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the sunglasses because that's the first kind of hook that I got into the art world. I was doing some pieces and different collages and stuff, and I hadn't really sold anything, and I was just kind of doing it for fun while I was working as a photographer. And then I did this piece and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna build the glass lenses onto the canvas, and I'm gonna cut them out of wood, or actually at the time I was doing it on cardboard. So I took the cardboard, I put the stuff, like I did like a fun like sunset scene on the sunglasses, with a jet taking off, and then I covered it in resin, let it dry off in my kitchen in my apartment over in downtown Burbank, and then let the resin dry off, and then I took the glass lenses and I glued them onto the image that I was making. It was called Palmer's Girl Has a Crush.
Oh my God, Robert Palmer.
Yeah. The whole premise actually of the series is that she's checking out George Michael's, and she's got the aviator shades.
Oh, okay.
And she's like a Palmer's girl, and she has like the black hair with the thing, but then she's like checking out like George Michael's.
This would have been like in the 80s.
But I was referencing the 80s and the early or mid like 2010s, like 2000, probably like 2010, 2011, in that range. And so she's like checking out, she's like, it was Will You Fly My Plane, Mr. Palmer?
Yeah, no, your work has all these commentaries on the work itself.
Yeah.
I always had a lot of fun trying to figure out what does this painting have. So
Yeah.
you start looking at the letters, and then it's like you playing with each character, so you don't even know you go to the right or to the bottom or to the left.
Yeah.
So that's it's really great that you continue to experiment with all your work.
Yeah, you can make it like a little puzzle and stuff, like something to explore and discover. But yeah, like so I had her with the sunglasses. So then a Dutch guy came in and bought it and flew it back to Europe, and that was my first big sale. So then from that point I was like, maybe I got something with these sunglasses.
I see.
And then so I started like from that point I was in like the sunglass phase, so I was doing a whole bunch of
Wow, you got lucky because immediately people recognize your work and they so much that they wanted to buy it.
well, it wasn't immediate. It was like a couple years of making art and
I
not
see.
selling
I
anything,
see.
just making it for fun. And
Yeah.
because the thing was is that when I was a photographer, it was like I wanted to do these fashion and I wanted to do these creative stories and all this stuff, and I was calling all the fashion magazines and like say, oh, we got our guy and stuff, and you know, we have so many slots, and like so like it was kind of like it was hard to like find like paid gigs doing the real creative stuff. And like when I was out here, so I was kind of doing a lot of stuff for fun, but then it was like oh yeah, but if you do the headshot or something, or do like my music, like, you know, images, which I mean, the music is really fun. Like I do a lot of music photography, but like the guy, like the headshots, which is great, you know, and I appreciate like having some creative control, but it didn't give me that like creative control that I really yearn for. And then, you know,
Yeah, those projects end up being more commercial than fine art.
yeah.
You really wanted the fine art. You wanted the more artistic freedom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I met you I think around 2012.
Yeah, when I was doing
When
photography,
you were
yeah.
doing photography, I remember a client of mine introduced me to you, Jeff Hamilton.
Yeah.
Because we're doing.
I actually told him about you.
Oh really?
Because I was driving by, and then I was like,
You said, "Oh, check that guy."
and then I was doing, or I came by one day before I introduced you to Jeff, and then it was, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some. I have wedding people and stuff, and remember I did a wedding book once with you.
Yes, yeah, go way back. So, yeah, that's how I remember it. It was like 2012. Jeff was doing his thing with his jackets, and then he was at that time working with Retina, and we were doing a catalog for him and Retina for one of his collections. But then I saw you guys working together where you were doing some of his photography work. But I had that feeling too. You always wanted to do that kind of like crossover, you know, like going into the fine art, and I really felt like you were doing this because you really loved the work, like you didn't mind like rolling your sleeve, you know, doing, you know, the handwork with woods. And I think that when we're looking for artists, that's kind of like what we want, you know, someone that has really great imaginations and wants to have a lot of fun. And I felt like people needed to know that side of you, that you really want to do this. And when I had that building in Hollywood, I remember, you know, this is a good opportunity for you to do a very big statement. And obviously Hollywood is the center of many things, and I'm glad you know, that we did that. And reminiscent to that, I still have pictures of you doing the mural.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have the artists, obviously, like Karen Beister. You know, she came in and did her Warhol at some point, and we had Teacher. You know, we worked with several artists, but I think that yours the one that was more permanent.
Oh
and
yeah.
I think a lot of it because people really related to your work. You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
David Bowie piece you did was very iconic.
Yeah, I remember I used pages from his like books and magazines and stuff, and I actually, it was funny, I was working on that one and some guy was driving by on a bicycle, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm a photographer, I'm a famed photographer. I think he did show stuff in your gallery before, and he was like, hey, I got some pictures of Bowie. And so I took some pictures that he gave me and glued them onto the mural.
Tell us a little bit about the mural, because that was kind of like a big deal. It was, how big was it? Like,
the mural was like 13 feet tall by 13 feet wide, so it was a decent size. It wasn't like gigantic, but and then that was a cool mural of like it was a great area too in Hollywood because we get a lot of foot traffic and stuff. So people all day would be taking photos and tagging me and stuff.
And that was like when the Instagram just started, right?
Yeah.
So was there even Instagram at that time?
Or well, Instagram had been around for a little bit. Like it wasn't that like initial like Instagram where like you just like post something and like you just get like thousands of views and like you would like there was like no. Then the algorithms by that time started coming in, so it wasn't quite the Instagram we.
I felt like the murals were like the Instagrams of the time because
Man,
like
yeah.
when you have a mural in such a central space, imagine how many people would look at your work, right? It's like thousands of cars, especially that area.
Yeah, I felt like that's a good way to. It's kind of like if you have your stuff up at the gallery, but it's always it's up for 3 years continuously, and then there's like continuous people walking by. That's the benefit of a mural, you know. Is unfortunately in Hollywood, it's like the Kobe Bryant mural has been like they've been like spray painting over it. It's kind of there's now this kind of culture around Hollywood where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna destroy your mural and I'm gonna get some notoriety for it, and that's what I'm going for, because like people are gonna be interested in the fact that I destroyed your mural. Like that's kind of like a thing now in Hollywood.
I see. Well, that sucks. Hopefully things change. But so, how do you feel now? People recognize you, like when they learn, or you know, if I ask someone about Brayden, is it like what? How do you recognize now?
I guess I'm known for like the intricate collage work, and probably like building things on, because like I told you, like in the beginning I started building the sunglasses on, and then I got this gallery in Aspen, then I was building ski goggles onto them, and like I built snorkels and different things onto the artworks. So then there's kind of like those are kind of like commercial, because like I'm more of like a commercial artist, like in that category of artists. So like my me artworks are not necessarily gonna sell real easily commercially, but then so I'll build, like I cut this head out of wood, and I do a lot of woodworking, and then so it's kind of like I'm like taking the idea of like gluing something onto the canvas, but like turbocharging, and then now I'm cutting into the canvas and layering it with wood and gluing things on. Then I did these sunglasses. They're based on the Versace sunglasses. Then I had them laser cut and glued them onto the canvas, and then cut into the canvas again. Everything I build is usually on wood, so I can like cut in and like go inwards or outwards and just have like many layers. And then of course I believe in, you know, doing a really fun, cool custom canvas. So like for my super works, I'll do these like crazy like canvases with like multi-layered and like fun like ideas that kind of like juice it up a little bit, you know, like and then like this has like a marble texture behind with the mirrored plexiglass.
Everything connects, you know, like the gold, the marble, the zoos, you know, the icon there. But I mean, this is more of a frame, right? So
yeah.
So it's like, does the frame start, or does the frame comes at the end? Like, how do you figure the structure? Because I see all this detail in every corner. You got like you know, like
lightning bolts,
and then you had little like zoos there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like every detail that comes after.
Yeah, like I do it in coordination with the piece. So like a lot of times I kind of do everything like in sections. So it's like I'll build out Zeus like on my free time. Like I did the head. The head was like laying around my studio for the longest time. Then I put together the body of it, and then it's like someone will call me and be like, hey, I'm doing this big art fair like in Miami or New York or something. We need like a really cool piece for the booth. What do you have? And then I'll be like, usually I'll utilize that as like, oh, well, I got this Zeus piece I'm working on, and then I'll like design like a really like crazy frame. So like I'll kind of take a break from it. So it might take me a couple years to make, but then I'm taking a break, so I'm coming in fresh with like a really cool like frame, you know, or something.
And the coloring, like obviously the body here has this neutral tones, right? Almost like black and white, and then the background is colorful. Is is the color coming from the paper, or that's something that you paint? Because it almost feels like you're painting with the paper. Like, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, this one I did like some fun things with like the AI and like some temples and stuff, and then I cut them out like, and I pick out like a really thick cardstock so that I can cut out the shapes and stuff and like layer it so it has like, I like the like having a thick texture to the artwork. Like I like the art to feel like like when I see like a print, like someone prints out, like even like they'll get some cool looking AI image and like they'll print it out and like throw it on the wall and like, you know, put a price on it, and it doesn't like when I like art, I like to feel like if I was to hang out, or the artworks that I have hanging on my wall, I'm looking for robust texture. So that's why I choose like the thick, like this was printed images, and then I cut out like really thick like cardstock and like layered it so that it has like a real thick like hardy texture to it, and then I go over it with like heavy UV like solvents and all that kind of stuff to like protect it really well, and then I splatter paint and I use thick paint to begin. So that's the background is like me just splattering paint and like just caking it on there, and like just so a lot of this is like spray paint, and you see how spray paint like it'll kind of drip down, a lot of dripping spray paint and like splattered paint, and so I'll just be in there with the thick paint just splattering it so it has like a real thick texture, and then I'll collage over that with the, this is more of like a robust background. Usually like my backgrounds are a little more like I'll have like the letters and stuff, but this one I just was focused on doing the paint. And so that's kind of my process, is I start with like the thick paint, and then I'll collage over that, and then I'll put my main like character over that, and then I'll put some kind of like accessory on the character.
I felt like you really gave a lot on this, in this artwork specifically. But then most of your artwork, because you know, when I'm thinking about an artist that wants to give a lot, is I'm thinking artist that keeps on giving, and the way you can give is by adding more, right? Either more paint or more paper or more, because at some point it's like one layer could be just as good, right? But then when you add more, because you just want to keep on giving. I mean, is it ever done? Like, do you want to go back and keep working on it, like in a piece like this?
Yeah, sometimes.
You want to work more?
I think too, like, there's kind of like this thing where it was like, there was like a flow, especially, and then it kind of like hit this like genesis when like during the COVID, everyone was buying art, and like money was like flush, and like there was money sloshing around and stuff, and I was like selling a lot. So like I would like be making like second editions and different things, and so and I was like fully focused on the art. But like now that it's like kind of like a little slower, the market, I'm the arts are kind of like piling up a little bit. So I've been like instead of like trying to like do something real simple and just kind of like do like a simple piece and be like, hey, like this is like did 10 simple pieces, I just don't want to like take the risk of having to store all that stuff. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do just one just like hardcore piece that I just put tons of effort into, that and then I can have like, you know, like one piece that's like badass, and then I'll do like, now I'll do like giclées or something, or canvas prints, and do like some embellishment and texturizing and stuff on them. But I'm focusing on like one like super work, and then now that I have such a body of work, it's like I can like have like one just badass work that I spend a lot of time on, that's like a higher price, and then I can do giclées and stuff and kind of use that to like kind of like pay the bills and like stay like making the art.
Yeah, because I imagine a piece like this would take a long time to create.
Yeah.
What is your average time?
Like maybe like 2 months if it was like, hey, like we got you like apartment, like just go at it, just like wake up and like work on that piece. But and then I kind of like layer it, like I was saying. So maybe like I may have started like 2 years ago, and then it's kind of like layered in with like a bunch of different other things that I have to do to kind of keep the
So
things
it's,
going.
it's hard to measure because some of these components they have been made
Yeah.
for a long period of time. Just happen to fit that it fits
Yeah.
within that painting.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So any plans for this year? Do you have anything like, you always go to Miami every year. It's right around the corner. Any plans for this year in Miami?
Yeah, I should be doing Miami again. I've been doing the context or Miami side. That I guess like last year was my third time, but I'm really pushing to get into the Art Miami side, and I think really feel like that's like the top fair for commercial artists.
Well, I
Like,
like that they obviously they're like sister fairs, right? They're connected, they're
Yeah.
owned by the same company. But I like that last year they had a bridge, meaning
Oh, they've had
you
it.
could just go from one fair to the other.
They've had it for a while.
Oh, good. So I think that at least it feels like it's connected. It's part of,
Yeah.
our context is part of Art Miami. So.
Yeah, just the only problem is that people are a little like, it starts at Art Miami, so by the time they get the context, they're like a little like, like art exhausted.
Yeah, you cannot do both fairs in one day. It's
Yeah.
definitely, they're both too big. I mean, we were there last year as a accredited magazine, and we did several interviews to some artists, and we featured them on our last issue, which was focusing on freeze in LA. So we kind of like had some of that content carry over for that issue, and we're gonna go back as accredited media, and we just don't do our Miami. We do our context, and we do the main fair.
Yeah.
Art Basel. So between the three fairs, hopefully we see you there.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I'll definitely be there.
Yes, I look forward. I know you did a big sold-out booth last year, so.
Yeah, I
For
did
sure, for
sell
sure.
like
Go
it was
back.
like very
Some
good.
art.
I was surprised. I hadn't done an art show before where I sold almost all the stuff I had on the walls, so that was the first.
Oh, it actually was nice to see you too at the after party with Karen Beister. That
Yeah.
was a nice surprise. I haven't
yeah.
seen her since she moved back to Miami. So
Yeah.
so that was a nice surprise. I'm glad to see that she's still doing great in the art world.
Oh yeah, she's always doing stuff.
Yeah, good. All right.
All right,
Shake
brother.
it.
Yes.
Good seeing you, and hopefully we get to do this again.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.